Hello, Parkway family. This is Mrs. Wilkerson here. I do apologize I couldn't be with you today, but I did want to go ahead and have our professional development because it's the first month in November, and I'm so excited about starting our balanced literacy. And so today we're going to take a look at helping students build a system for processing text. This professional development is for grades 3 and 4 here at Parkway Elementary. Today we're going to be talking about the complexity of processing written text with understanding and fluency. As readers, we think about the text without being aware of what's happening in the brain. This processing or problem solving takes place automatically as we read for meaning. But as we know, many students or struggling readers have problems or have difficulties with this processing. But the great news is that we can help them with this processing. So let's take a look. Our key understandings today is to understand the reading process better. The reading process is the way in which readers construct meaning from print by engaging a variety of complex strategic actions simultaneously. Students' language before, during, and after reading shows evidence of their thinking within, beyond, and about the text. Students' attention is on the text and what it means to them. A variety of text stretches readers' powers of comprehension, so they apply systems of strategic actions in different ways and learn to adjust their reading. An instruction that keeps students actively thinking about a text supports and expands student processing. So these are our key understandings for today. These are our goals. We want students' attention on the text and what it means to them. We want students to read and construct meaning while they are reading. So how do we get them to do this? Take a moment to read the short story Shells by Cynthia Rylant on pages 325 and 326 of your Guiding Readers and Writers book. From your familiarity with this author's work, what do you anticipate the story will be like? When you're done reading, write on some Post-its about what you are thinking about the story or the author now. Share your comments when everyone is done. Go ahead and pause the video. And now for a collaborative discussion. What were some of the things that you noticed about responding to reading and then sharing with your colleagues? Please pause the video at this time to share. Please reread the first paragraph and look at figure 18.1 on page 302. Go ahead and share your thinking about that. Pause the video to allow time to share. Let's talk about complex systems of strategic actions for processing text. Team, please quickly read the section Complex Systems of Strategic Actions for Processing Text on page 309 of your book. Share some big ideas after your reading. Go ahead and pause the video. Talk about the distinction between strategic actions for sustaining processing and expanding thinking. Please pause the video at this time to allow a discussion for the distinction between those two. Now let's look at some strategic actions. I want everybody to pair up. Now I know that for fourth grade there are 3, so you all can just work together fourth grade. I want you to select 1 or 2 strategic actions, probably 2. I want each pair of you to chart what you're learning by defining the action and then bulleting the important aspects of it. And then after you've charted it, share the results. I want you to talk about what are you taking away from this work around strategic actions. This strategic actions is very important as it's what we do in our Tier 1 instruction when we are pairing comprehension strategy instruction with any kind of skills that we're teaching. It's what we do when we're in small group guided reading, and it's what we do in LLI. So these strategic actions, teaching students and showing them and explaining to them how and why and when to use these strategies is very important. So please go ahead and chart and bullet and share it this time. Go ahead and pause that video. Teaching for comprehending across the language and literacy framework. Teachers, please turn to page 322 of your book and read that introduction to the chapter on page 22. I want you to read with the purpose of analyzing the big ideas. After you're done reading, I want you to discuss what's one idea you are thinking about after reading this section. What's your aha moment? Go ahead and pause that video. All right, next I want you to review the section called The Centrality of Comprehension on pages 323 and 324. After you review those, you can review those either independently or together. And I want you to talk about what points does it make about teaching reading. What are the big points that it makes about teaching reading? Go ahead and pause that video to share. A network of processing systems for reading. All right, get out your appendix that says a network of processing systems for reading. I want you to talk about this layout for thinking within the text, beyond the text, and about the text. How does this layout help you in thinking about a system of integrated strategic actions? Add any new thinking to the strategic actions chart, but go ahead and have an open discussion about this layout and how it is so helpful that it's integrated versus isolated. Go ahead and pause that video. The Language and Literacy Framework. Teaching for strategic actions is done throughout the reading workshop. Our main goal is to teach for processing in all we do and say. It is how we assess students and focus their attention. And I might add, it's also how we know they are understanding, making inferences, and drawing conclusions about what they're reading. It's the strategic processes, and we must make them visible and audible so that we will know where students are, so that we'll know where we need to take them, where we need to teach up with them. So for preparation for our next PLC, please read pages 332 through 338, Teaching for Strategies Across the Literacy Framework. This section will help us address our essential questions in our next PLC. What do we want students to learn? How will we teach them? How will we know they learned? What will we do if they do not learn? And what will we do if they already have learned it or mastered it? All right, guys, I'll see you on Friday. And until then, goodbye.